would be frightening to any adult, to any person, really. How's your son handling this also?
He's been fantastic. I mean, he's 22 years old. He's really had a level head about him. He's been here 10 days longer than I have, and he had been here in the country prior to me entering it. And he's really holding up amazingly well, given the circumstances.
Now, tell me exactly what it is that the local promoter is demanding.
He's demanding the entire $400,000 that he wired to the U.S. to be returned. But in reality, there are about $50,000 to $60,000 worth of expenses that are non-recoupable simply because we had flight changes that we had to pay for the act. We had a number of expenses that we had to pay out of that in order for the act to get down here and in order for us to get down here, which is all covered in contract. So we're trying to, work that out with the local promoter and give him back. I mean, Nas has not returned all the money yet. He's only returned $199,000 of the $300,000 we sent him. The opening act has not even returned our phone calls, so they haven't returned any of the monies we sent them. So we're really trying to piece it together on all ends right now and to get ourselves out of here.
All right, so what did Nas say when you guys spoke to him?
Nas at first wouldn't return any of the money, and then he signed mutual releases saying that he'd return all of the money, but he only wired $199,000 instead of the $300,000. Now, over the weekend, he was backpedaling, saying he had some expenses out of pocket that he wanted to cover, and he wanted $50,000 to cover those expenses. Nas performed the New Year's Eve party when he was supposed to be in Angola. He was performing in Miami Beach for LeBron James. So my position is find the money out of that event and cover your expenses, not at our expense here in Angola.
Now, what is the local government there threatening to do with you guys in terms of punishment for what they claim basically happened and what went down, the fact that Nas didn't show, and then the local promoter sounds like he's very connected also, obviously, because he's got the government keeping you there. So what are they threatening you with?
They're threatening us with jail from the beginning, and at the interrogations, they handed us, the only reason we got out with the embassy, they handed me my phone back, and they said, contact Nas. This is the police telling me to contact Nas and make him come down here. Or you're going to spend time in the jail cell over there, and they're pointing to the jail cell. So, they've threatened us repeatedly with jail if we don't resolve this matter in short order.
When do you think, best case scenario, that you think you might be able to come home?
A week ago, I would have told you by Wednesday of last week. Now my expectations are low. Things don't move quickly here in Angola. They're not moving quickly on the state side. And I think as soon as we can get Nas to bring back to put all of the money up, and we can get the opening act to return her money, then we can have serious negotiations with the local government and return the monies that we're able to and start from there. So hopefully things will move this week, midweek, but I hope I'm not being overly optimistic.
It just boggles the mind that you guys are being held hostage over a business deal. This is not again, as we said before, this is not a murder. This is not something where you're told not to leave the country. This is a business deal. This is something that was out of your control at this point also, and you're trying to do the right thing and make amends and make sure that Nas and the opening act make restitution here. Honestly, it sounds like a plot of a bad movie where you have two people who are stuck in a country where the government is just not what we're used to and what we're accustomed to here, where you have government officials who could possibly be in the pocket of the local bigwigs and the concert promoters. It's just incredible to me.
You have a good handle on the story. I mean, there's widespread corruption, and there's payoffs, and there's bribes, and we were told if we paid immigration $80,000, we'd get out of the country. I mean, there's been all sorts of that stuff going on down here, and it's very disheartening.
What kind of conditions are you guys being held in right now? How's your health, your spirits?
Up until it's been real difficult for us to get water that's drinkable. most of the water, even the bottled water here, is bottled in Luanda. We just today got water that's bottled over in Europe. We had dysentery. We had dysentery for 4 or 5 days. We finally got antibiotics 2 days ago, Cipro. So, I mean, we're on the road to recovery here physically. And mentally, I think, we've been operating on very little sleep, a couple hours a night up until last night. Last night, we finally got about 6 hours of sleep, but it's been very hectic and very unpredictable and unstable.
Have you been physically harmed otherwise?
Not from the day of that abduction. That was we got thrown around pretty good that day. But that was it. Right after that, and after the embassy stepped in, we've been allowed to stay in residence here at this hotel. Very average hotel for our stateside standards.
All right, Patrick, we hope that you guys get to come home very soon, and please keep us up to speed, and I'm sure that we'll keep in touch with you also. But we do hope that you get home ASAP.
Okay. Well, thank you, Eric.
Thank you for your time.